Obviously, great win against a very well-coached team, very good team. I've got a lot of respect for Todd, his staff, and their team, and the way that they play. Um, I knew they would keep coming. Obviously, I thought the first half is about as well as we played offensively in terms of shot making, ball movement, assist rate. We had 18 field goals in the first half. 12 of them were assisted. Ball moved. Shot 64% from the field, I think it was, and 50-something from three. And had 5 turns, maybe 12-5 at halftime. So we were really clicking. Second half, I knew we weren't going to continue to shoot that torrid pace, but I didn't think we'd shoot 29% and 9% from three. Did not. But I thought we had some good looks early from three and just didn't make them. Same shots we had, quite frankly, in the first half. And then I thought as the game won in the second half, it got hard. Give Toledo credit. They kept swinging. Thought they made it really hard to score. Our guys kept fighting. I thought our defense was, obviously you're playing an elite national offense, number one offense in our league. And so, to hold them to 43%, obviously that's hard to do because, again, they're so well coached. They have a great scheme, and they've got really good players. But, we were fortunate to hang on. I wasn't fired up about how we handled press offense late in the game. Thought we were really sloppy and need to do better with that. Our older guys know that. I expect better. We got an older team. They know what they're supposed to be doing, the spacing of all that, meeting passes. I just thought we were really sloppy. So we need to clean that up. And, we'll take a look at the film, see how we can get better between now and Tuesday. And then Central Michigan comes in here, and going into tonight, they were obviously one loss behind us in Toledo. They've had a really good start to conference play, and so it'll be a great challenge. Different type of game plan, different type of game on Tuesday that we got to get ready for.
Questions for Coach?
Javan Simmons had 7 points in the first half, and you guys were double and even triple teaming him at times. What kind of adjustments did you guys make in the second half?
Well, not good enough probably, I guess. He had 14 and 6 for 10 from the field. I thought he was a load. He's really good, and I think, he'll continue to get better. Very physical. Was very efficient tonight and was a load inside. Yeah, he was tough to handle. He did a nice job for them.
Yeah. So talking about free throws, let's just say that first. What does it mean that you have Ali and Enrique Freeman both over 70% on free throws?
Well, it's huge because those guys get fouled a lot. Like Ali drew 9 fouls tonight. We actually didn't shoot free throws very well to start the second half. And then to end the game, we made big ones, which was good to see. But, yeah, it's huge because those guys get fouled. Their offensive free throw rate's pretty high.
It's good second chance points.
Yeah, for sure. Obviously I thought Mike Dawson in particular in second chance points tonight, or keeping balls alive. It just seemed he had a nose for the ball. He was around the ball a lot, scrapping, which is what Mike does. Mike's a tough kid. When he plays with force like that, he's really good. And then obviously he made a lot of threes in the first half, shot it well. So good, as I've said a ton of times, success is going to look different for different guys on different nights. I think Ali's been in single digits the last couple games, but played really well. Well, tonight he gets 27, Reek's the one guy that gets a double-double. I use the analogy like we breathe. Does it again on 25 minutes, even though he was in foul trouble. But Dawson hit double figures tonight. Could be somebody else the next game. Could be Hunter. Hunter was in double figures the other day against Eastern, had a great shooting game. So, we have a lot of weapons and a lot of versatility offensively.
Coach, you look at Ali, with Sammy, Enrique, Greg, they eventually got to 4 fouls. They were battling foul trouble. Just how nice to have Ali, able to make shots like that and use his length to really be disruptive.
Yeah, no, I thought he was terrific. And, he plays both ends, Michael. I mean, he's guarding Maddox most of the night. It's a tough cover. And then he played 35 minutes, which we play him that in some games. I'd like to get him to about 32 and get him some more rest. Unfortunately, we couldn't do that tonight with all the foul trouble. But I thought he was really, really good tonight. Locked in, having fun, smiling, having a great time. Probably talked to their bench a little bit too much. We got to get that cleaned up. But but he's having a ball out there. You know, he's fun. You feel him when you're coaching. It's a little different than it was a couple years ago when we had him. He's just having fun. I think his appreciation level for being here, playing with the guys that he played with for years, he just is having fun. He's experiencing a lot of joy playing the game. It's pretty cool to see.
Coach, with the early foul trouble, like you mentioned, it kind of allowed for the younger guys to rise up with Scott, Caleb, and Tavari all getting 10-plus minutes, with even Scott getting 22. How do you feel about the young core that we have right now?
Yeah, I mean, I think they're getting better. I think they got a long way to go, but they're getting better. Those old guys were young once too, you know? So I think those guys, they're great guys. I love them, being around them. They care about each other. They care about winning. They work at it, and they're getting better. I've seen a lot of improvement from those guys throughout the season.
And with this win, of course, securing that #1 spot in the MAC once again, and we'll be facing off against Central Michigan. Enrique has mentioned multiple times that there's still that extra level. Do you think those guys are at that level? Or
No.
How many more do they got?
We still got more. You know, and remember, too, I mean, and everybody deals with stuff, right? Like, you know, my brother at Miami didn't have Morambo the whole first semester. I mean, that's significant, you know. But the reality of it is Nate Johnson's a really good player. Starter, 27 minutes a night, leads us in steals, has the best assist-to-turnover ratio of our primary rotational guys, guards multiple positions, is a freakish athlete, has great positional size, and do we miss him? Somebody asked me, yeah, sure. Some other guys have stepped up. It's been a weird year from the standpoint we didn't have Ali the first 8. Well, then we have Ali, Freeman, and Nate for a while. Well, then we lose Nate. So now we got Ali and Freeman, but no Nate. And so and the guys have not complained. Next guy stepped up. You know, we've had to improvise a little bit, adapt some, but, you know, there's a chance we could get him back towards the end of the year. And, you know, so that would be a good boost for us. But I think Enrique's right. We haven't capped out yet. Obviously tonight, you know, you want to have a chance to win in March. You can't run press offense like that at the end of the game. I mean, you got to be better than that. It's ridiculous, you know, and they know that. They're smart guys. They know. Greg was talking about in the huddle, like, guys, this is ridiculous. You know, he knows. I don't even have to say anything. They know, you know, so we could have been better there. You know, I thought, you know, there's some other areas we got to get cleaned up too. But our whole mindset is growth. Keep getting better. Our goal is to be the best version of ourselves as we hit March. So, you know, the reality of it is everyone's talking about, you know, hey, first place or whatever. That deal is crowned after 18 rounds of a boxing match, not 10. So, you know, we're grateful. Obviously, you'd rather be in that position now than you would be in another position after 10 games, so we're grateful for that. But we realize that, as Evan Wilson always reminds our guys at halftime, most overrated thing in sports, halftime scores. You know, so right now we're 10 rounds into 18 rounds, and we got round 11 on Tuesday night. And they know, I've told them, they all count the same. So, better value all of them.
Toledo was the only team that beat us at home last season. How does it feel to beat them at home tonight?
Well, it's a good win just because I said earlier, they're really good. They got a good team. They got good players. They're well coached. They've been good for a long time. They've been a little bit like us in that regard. They've been able to sustain it for, you know, few to several years. And I've always said appreciate what he's done because, you know, when I was at Ohio, my first stint in the league, he just got there. And if I remember right, I want to say his first year they may have been like 4-28. And what he's built in terms of consistency and sustaining it, you know, we're trying to do this. We're doing the same thing here. You know, I admire that. So it's a great win just because it's a win against a great team. I tried to tell the guys, obviously they talked about what you're mentioning, but last year has nothing to do with this year and had nothing to do with who was going to win the game tonight. So, you know, you got to play well tonight. And fortunately for us, we played well enough. I thought we were terrific first half. Got through it a little bit, mucked it. The game was a weird game because you got two teams that take a lot of pride and statistically have been successful at defending without fouling, commit 38 fouls tonight. So the game was a little choppy, and kind of felt mucked up a little bit. But, it's competitive out there. It's physical. Both teams have strong desire to win. And so you're going to have some of that. But yeah, I mean, it's a great win, I think, because most importantly, it was against a really good team.
Coach, Ali appeared to favor an ankle injury late in that second half. What's your level of concern there?
Well, I'm concerned. You heard me talk to him there as he left. Obviously he cranked it pretty good. And as we all know about ankles, they're usually not as good. You usually can fight through it at the moment it happens if you're tough, which he did. But the next day is always a little interesting with it. So we want to try to get ahead of it. I think Connor always does a great job. Our trainer's spectacular, working with our guys. Our guys trust him. He's good. So he'll work with them here over the next 24, 48, 72 hours leading into Central Michigan on Tuesday, and we'll hope for the best.
Were you aware of the milestones coming into tonight that Ali, and Enrique Freeman could reach?
I wasn't until after the game. Yeah, Skozen and Dunn mentioned it a little bit, but it's not, number one, it means they've been here a long time. And number two, it means they're pretty good. So I'm not surprised that they're pretty good or that they've been here a long time has been a real blessing.
Were you able to hear Lauren on the
I saw him up there when I sat down, but I didn't hear what he said, So it was cool to see him up there. These guys as I told you before, take a lot of pride in what we've built. And Christian, as I mentioned today in the pregame radio, means a lot to us, as does his class, because those guys were the trailblazers. They didn't have 100+ wins over a 5-year period to have as evidence as to why they were going to come here and build Akron basketball back up. They believed in what we were telling them was going to take place, what culture we were going to create, how we were going to do it, how they fit into it, and how special that first class had a chance to be as the trailblazers. And boy, were they ever the trailblazers. So, those guys, old guys will tell you, they've got great respect for Cheese and Banks and Zurius Williams and Riak and Christian and Sale, all these guys, Reese, all these guys that were a part of this deal. They still all talk. 2 years ago when we won it, they were on FaceTime in the last huddle up in Cleveland. And those guys were talking to them with a few seconds left in the game. And the last time out. So, BD brought him into the huddle with about 30 seconds to go in the game. So, those guys are all close. They take great pride in being an Akron Zip, and it's pretty cool, to see that. Now, hopefully our younger guys are watching these older guys, like these older guys watched those guys, and that there's some regenerative leadership going on here. And, I get on them sometimes because I'm, said to a kid the other day about some academic stuff. I said, hey, do you see Freeman doing that? He doesn't do that. Why would you do that? You see Ali and Greg and Caleb Thornton, these guys are all like killing it. Are you like paying attention at all? So hopefully they are both on court and off court because those guys are certainly great ambassadors for the university.
It's not something that you touch often on, Coach, but the transfer portal and the culture of staying.
Yeah.
What is it that is?
Well, I to quote Freeman, and he told ESPN Radio this the other day when we were on there, because they asked him and alluded to that question that Chad said about portal and all this. And I think Reek's statement, paraphrasing, was, if you want to get better as a person and a player from year to year, then you need to come to Akron. And I don't think I could say it any better than that. And I didn't ask him to say that. But that's how those guys feel. It's how Christian feels. It's how Enrique feels. that's the reality. They feel like from year to year while they're here, they become better people. Like Reek said, I become a better person. I'm going to have 2 degrees, and I can do things now as a basketball player I couldn't do 4 or 5 years ago. I've gotten better. If you want to get better, come to Akron. And so it's one thing you hear a coach say that, right? But when a player says that unsolicited on a radio show, it's pretty powerful. So, but a lot of it's the character of those guys. Those guys' characters, unique, and special because they care about each other and they care about winning. They have individual goals and dreams. They all do, and they should. And we love helping them reach those. But nothing's more important than taking care of each other, caring for each other, and winning. And they bought into that at a high level.
Anything else for Coach?
One other one is regarding the defense. This team scored 80 points quite a bit.
Yeah.
70 tonight. When you're preparing for them, is there like a target number you guys talk about, or how do you keep them under 80 basically? With 4 or 5 guys.
If you figure that out, let me know. They are really good on offense. I thought tonight they did some good things defensively, especially the second half. But yeah, they're hard to stop. They do a great job of putting their players in position of strength. Take good shots. They take care of the ball. They run good stuff. They're good. You're right. It's hard to hold them to 70. Part of it tonight probably was our defense. Part of it was they maybe felt like they missed some shots. So, but yeah, we. I felt like if we could get to 70, we had to get to at least 75 just because they score at a high rate. So, but yeah, we defend. I thought we defended. It seemed like at times they just kept. They're so good driving the ball and they're good in transition. They put their head down. They're at the rim and a New York second, not minute, second. It's like boom. They're there. I mean, they really are difficult to defend.